guys, my name's Erica. Welcome to the yoga workout for today. We're going to be working into headstand. So if you've done headstand before, this is a great time to practice. If you've never done headstand, I'm going to get you closer to it. So come with me, follow the directions. Let's start at the top of our mats. Come to the top of your mat and bring the balls of your feet to touch. Your heels can be either touching or 1 inch apart. Pick up all 10 of your toes and then put them down on the mat separately. Try to get some space in between your toes. Now draw gently up on your kneecaps to activate your legs. Tuck your tailbone a little bit to bring the fronts of your hips closer to the bottoms of your ribs. Okay. And now, start to take deep breaths from the bottom of your tailbone all the way up to the bottom of your chin. Fill up your whole core. Think of your core and your torso like a vessel. Turn your palms towards the front of the room, insides of your elbows facing forward. Keep your chest nice and open and close your bottom ribs. Keep your tailbone tucked and draw the sides of your neck back. Okay. Let's go ahead and on your next inhale, reach your arms out and up. Touch your palms together above your head. Look between your hands. Get really tall. And exhale, forward fold. Lead with your heart flat back. Relax all the way down. Take your time. Let your forward fold take the entire length of an exhale. Relax everything from your head all the way to the base of your spine. Pretend to look at the back of your mat to make sure your head is completely relaxed. Now from here, draw a little bit more weight into the fronts of your feet. On your next inhale, keep all 10 of your fingertips on the ground. Your knees can be bent or straight for this. Pull your top of your head forward and send your tailbone back. So what you're doing is creating traction in your spine. Keep the back of your neck long, so no wrinkles in the back of your neck. Take one more inhale here, really, really long spine, and then exhale, forward fold. On your next inhale, reach your arms out to the sides, palms facing down, shoulders away from your ears, and then come all the way up with a flat back, heart reaching forward. Touch your palms together above your head, look up between your thumbs, and exhale, hands to the center of your chest. Prayer position. Beautiful. I'm going to walk you through one slow sun salutation, and then we're going to speed it up a little bit. On your next inhale, strong into your feet, reach your arms out and all the way up, touch your palms together above your head. And exhale, forward fold, dive all the way out. Let your head go with the rest of your spine. On your inhale, put your fingertips on the ground, flatten your back, pull your heart forward, send the top of your head towards the front of the room and the base of your tailbone to the back. And then exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees enough to plant your palms directly on the ground and step both feet back to plank position. So plank is high push-up, top of a push-up position. We're going to hold here for just a second to work on alignment. Make sure your index fingers are parallel to the outside edges of your mat, and then all 10 of your fingers reaching out in 10 different directions. And now keep your hips in line with your shoulders. Bring your shoulder blades a little bit closer together behind you. Awesome. And now send your heels to the back of the room. Reach the backs of your knees up so your whole legs are really, really activated. Send your tailbone towards your heels so you're like one straight board of wood and no wrinkles in the back of your neck. Take one more inhale just like this. Spin the insides of your elbows forward. And then exhale with control. Slowly lower all the way down onto your mat. Belly down. Keep your hands just where they are. Untuck your feet, your toes. Press the tops of your feet into the ground. And try to even press the pinky toenails into the ground. This is going to help your alignment. Keep your legs flexed so that your kneecaps are lifting. Press your pelvis into the mat. Pinch your elbows towards each other behind your back. And then inhale, peel your chest open for baby cobra. So in baby cobra, the point of this pose is to lengthen the spine. So the top of the head is pointing forward and the tailbone is pointing back. So Dean's spine is nice and long here. Take one more inhale. Really push your chest forward, but keep your neck relaxed. And then on your exhale, you can release all the way down onto the mat. Okay, from here, we're going to work our way back up from plank to downward facing dog. So tuck your toes, flex your legs so that your kneecaps lift up, and then option to lift from your knees, or you can come all the way up to plank like a straight, strong board of wood. I'm pretty sure Dean can come straight into plank. On your exhale, lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. So first, downward dog. Down dog is like an inverted V shape. So your feet are going to be parallel to each other. Press all 10 of your toes into the mat and then reach your heels down to the mat behind you. Reach the backs of your knees back and then sit your hips up towards the ceiling. So you see this nice long part of the spine. Relax your head towards the ground, and your heart will start to melt towards your knees. Press the ground away with your hands, index fingers still parallel to the outside edges of your mat. Okay, from here, on your next inhale, bend your knees deeply and look forward between your hands. Keep your arms straight. On your exhale, step or hop all the way up to the front of your mat. Coming back to the forward fold. Relax your spine immediately. Beautiful. On your next inhale, fingertips to the ground, flatten your back, half lift. Pull your heart forward. Exhale, forward fold. Keep your feet together, and on the next inhale, reach your arms out and up to face all the way up to the sky. Press your palms together, look between your thumbnails, and then exhale, dive it right back down, swan dive all the way down to the floor. So we're going to speed this up a little bit. That was just kind of a slow motion sun salutation. We're going to do a little bit faster. Inhale, fingertips on the ground, half lift. And then exhale, fold, plant your palms, step both of your feet back into high plank. Beautiful, top of a push-up. Take an inhale, shift your heart forward, and then exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Beautiful, belly down. Untuck your toes, press the tops of your feet into the mat. Inhale, peel your chest over for baby cobra. Nice job. And then exhale, release. Come back down, keep your hands where they are, tuck your toes. Come all the way up through plank on an inhale, and then downward facing dog on an exhale. Beautiful. On your next inhale, bend your knees deeply, look between your hands, and then exhale, step or hop to the front of your mat, forward fold. Beautiful. Take an inhale, half lift, fingertips on the ground, top of your head facing forward. Nice, and then exhale, fold. From here, make sure the balls of your feet are touching. Keep folding and start to squeeze your kneecaps together. Now squeeze your kneecaps together and start to bend into your knees to squat your hips low. Come up to 90 degrees, but don't come lower than 90 degrees rather. Reach your tailbone back a little bit so that your knees are over your feet. You don't want your knees coming in front of your feet. And now your torso is still relaxed on your thighs. From here, on your next inhale, you're going to keep your torso down, but you're going to reach your arms forward towards the front of the room with your palms facing each other. Draw your shoulders back away from your spine. If this gets to be too much, you can come out of it a little bit, okay? So palms facing each other. On your next inhale, strong core, lift your torso up, chair pose. Beautiful. Chair pose is a really challenging pose. There's many degrees of this, so if you need to come out of a squat, that's fine. Make sure you can see a couple of your toes in front of your knees. Hug your core in, so low belly especially sucks up and in towards your heart. Spin your palms towards the back of the room, and your biceps come towards your ears. This takes a lot of flexibility in your shoulders, so if you don't have that yet, that's totally fine. Take one more inhale just like this, and then exhale, stand and release. Bring your hands to the center of your chest. Beautiful. Press your palms into each other, make a straight line between your forearms, so much so that your shoulder blades come back together behind your spine. Tuck your tailbone a little bit here. Continuing the Sun Sao B. So keep your hands pressed together in the center of your chest. Take an inhale, squat your hips low, chair pose. Reach your arms up. Beautiful. And then on your exhale, dive everything out. Straighten your legs, bring your fingertips to the ground. Forward fold. Relax your head. And now inhale to half lift, fingertips on the ground, shoulders away from your ears. On your exhale, fold again, straighten your legs, plant your palms, step your feet back to plank pose. And lower down on the same exhale. Beautiful. Now inhale, untuck your toes, come into baby cobra or upward facing dog if that's in your practice. And on an exhale, move all the way back through plank to downward facing dog. Don't forget to breathe. Reach your heels back towards the back of the mat. Beautiful. On your next inhale, lift your right leg back and high behind you. Keep your hips square to the mat and point your right big toe down. And then on your exhale, step your right foot between your hands, come to low lunge. Dean's doing a great job here. Fingertips in line with your toes. And if you need to use your hand to walk your foot up towards your fingertips, that's fine. Spin onto your left heel, so left toes out at about a 45-degree angle facing the left front corner of your mat. Keep your hips squared in front of the room as best you can, and then inhale, reach your arms up for Warrior One. So Warrior One is a lunge. Make sure that this knee doesn't come out over this foot. So your lunge can be as shallow or as deep as you want it to be, and you can kind of play with the depth of it as you get more into your practice. Close your bottom ribs, and then reach your chest open, spin your palms towards the back of the room. Take one more strong inhale. This back leg is super strong. On your exhale, lower your hands all the way down to frame your foot. Great. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Take an inhale in plank pose. Exhale, move through your vinyasa. So a vinyasa is exhaling all the way down to the ground or coming halfway to chaturanga, as Dean's showing you right now. That's another variation. Inhaling to cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhaling slowly back into downward facing dog. Okay, if you need to take a couple breaths, take a couple breaths. Otherwise, when you're ready, on your next inhale, lift your left leg back and high behind you, point your left big toe down to keep your hips square, and then exhale your left foot between your hands. And again, fingertips in line with your toes. You can take as many, shots to do this as you want. Now spin your right foot flat so that your right toes are facing out at a 45-ish, right? Press into the outer edge of this back right foot, back leg super strong. Inhale your arms up, warrior one on the other side. So the challenge in warrior one is keeping this left hip drawn back as you're drawing your right hip forward. And now, close your bottom ribs. Dean's doing a great job here. Chest open, palms spin towards the back of the room. One more inhale here. And then exhale, arms all the way down to surround your left foot. Step it back to plank pose and move through your vinyasa. And you see how Dean's breathing really strongly here. So each breath guides a movement. So what I usually say is your breaths should be full. They should be all the way in and all the way out. That doesn't mean they have to be slow, but they have to be full. Okay. From here, on your next inhale, bend your knees deeply, look between your hands, press the ground away. Exhale, come all the way up to the front of your mat. Relax your spine and your head, forward fold. This is a nice place to stop and take a rest. Just let your spine relax. If you're with us, squeeze your kneecaps together, squat your hips low, and inhale your arms up to chair pose. Press your palms together above your head. Suck your low belly towards your heart. Nice job. Tuck your tailbone in. Last inhale here. And then exhale, stand all the way up and put your hands at the center of your chest. Beautiful. Press your hands together. Nice. Press your sternum gently into your thumbnails to keep your chest open. Your lower ribs are closed. And again, your hip tips are reaching towards the bottom of your rib cage. Okay. Moving on from here. Inhale your arms all the way out and up. Touch your palms together above your head. Look up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Lead with your heart, flat back. Knees are pretty much straight, but you can keep a little bit of a bend. All right, from here, plant your palms on either side of your feet, so kind of about between the shoulder width distance. Step your left leg all the way to the back of your mat. Nice. Drop your left knee. Untuck your left toes and keep your hips square to the front of the room. Inhale your arms up for low lunge. So now you're reaching your arms above your head. And what tends to happen here is it's really easy for you to kind of come forward and lean into this leg. What you want to do is press hard into the ball of this foot, keep your knee above your ankle, and then try to keep your torso straight up and down. So you want your tailbone pointing straight down, you want your head pointing straight up. It's a beautiful job. Spin your palms towards the back of the room, get a lot of length in your neck between your ears and your shoulders. Take one more inhale just like this. And then exhale, surround your foot with your hands, coming into half splits. So from here, shift your hips back over your back knee so that now you've got a straight line from your left hip tip down to your left knee. Walk your right foot forward just a little bit and flex your right toes towards your face. Nice. So this is a hamstring stretch for your right leg. Try to pull your right hip back in space gently to work your leg straight. Now if it stays a little bit bent, that's not a problem, but try to keep your right toes flexing towards your face so that you protect your leg. And then just fold to the best of your ability over your front leg. So some people are gonna come a little further than others, that's absolutely fine. Take a couple of deep breaths into that right hip and into that hamstring. Start to bend back into your right leg. Put your right foot back down on the ground. Ease your way back into a low lunge. plant your fingertips on either side of your right foot. Tuck your back toes, raise your back knee. Nice. From here, make sure your hips are super square to the front of the room, shoulders away from your ears. Now get really strong in your core, engage your lower abs. Inhale your arms up to high crescent lunge. Nice job. So high crescent lunge, this is a really good jumping off point for a lot of different poses in yoga. So from here, you're gonna reach this heel back, you're gonna reach the back of your knee up, and this back leg is where most of your strength is coming from. So it's a very powerful pose. And then left hip is reaching forward slightly, right hip is pulling back. Press hard into the ball of the right foot to help with your balance. And again, like with most poses, close your bottom ribs, reach your arms up, sides of your neck back, and see if you can relax your face and your throat. Take one more inhale here, Dean, that looks awesome. And now exhale, right palm forward, left palm back for core twist. This is a challenging pose. So even here, it's really important to press into the ball of this foot and then take your shoulders back over your hips. If you need a break, please take a break. You can come out of the lunge if you need to a little bit. Take one more inhale just like this. And then exhale, right palm on the inside of your, left palm on the inside of your right leg. Right palm reaches up, easy twisting lunge. And now, Dean's got spectacular form here. So you're going for a straight line between these fingertips and your bottom fingertips. Your shoulders are away from your ears, so your neck is long. Think about reaching the top of your head forward and the bottom of your tailbone back. Okay, take one more breath here. And then on your exhale, back to low lunge, so both hands surround your right foot. Plant your palms. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Coming back into high plank. Now from here, we're gonna take something called side plank. So make sure your feet are touching behind you together. So bring the balls of your feet together. Good. And now look at your right palm. You're going to flex into your feet a lot, and then you're going to scoot onto the outer edge of your right foot and come into side plank on the right side of your body. So a modification for this, really nice modification, is dropping your left knee to the ground. This is an option, as Dean can show you. You're going to reach back with your tailbone, reach forward with the top of your head, and then shoulders away from your ears. Take one more inhale here. Exhale to get back to plank pose. Take a big inhale in plank, and then on your exhale, move through your vinyasa. And since vinyasas are breath-based movements, everyone has different speeds, right? So the length of your inhales and exhales is going to determine how quickly you move through your vinyasas. So it's a really personal thing. Take a big inhale, bend your knees deeply, look between your hands. And on your exhale, travel up to the top of your mat. This can be baby step, hop, or float. Relax everything, forward fold. Keep your palms on the ground. Take an inhale, flatten your back, pull your heart forward. And on your exhale, step your right leg to the back of your mat. We're coming into this sequence on the other side. So keep your left knee over your left ankle, drop your right knee to the ground, untuck your right toes, good. And now draw gently forward on your right hip and inhale your arms up over your head for low lunge. So, like I've said, something that really helps with balance is pressing into the ball of this foot to keep the knee straight over the ankle. Close your bottom ribs, reach your tailbone down, open your chest, and see this nice length between the ears and the shoulders. You want to keep that open. This builds strength in the shoulders, which helps you for things like inversions and arm balances later on. Palms spin to the back of the room, beautiful. Take one more inhale. And then on your exhale, drop your hands to surround your left foot. From here, shift your hips back over your right knee. So your right hip is straight over your right knee. Walk your left foot forward a little bit, flex your left toes towards your face. And now from here, gently draw back on this left hip and fold to the best of your ability. This is the hamstring stretch. It's called half splits. So you might be up here, you might be able to bend into your elbows a little bit. Wherever you are, be gentle with yourself. Keep your thigh flexed a little bit. It'll protect the back of your leg. Keep your neck long and don't lose your breath. Nice. On your next inhale, bend back into your left leg. Put your left foot back down on the ground. Make your fingertips parallel with your toes. Excellent. And now tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, get super strong in that back leg. Make sure your hips are square. On your next inhale, go ahead and press up into high crescent lunge. So high crescent lunge on the other side. Again, press into the ball of your front foot, the left foot. Straighten your right leg, send your right heel back, and send the back of your right knee up. Drop forward on the right hip to really stretch out this front part of your body, and then send your tailbone down. Send your head up, close your bottom ribs, and open your chest. Spin your palms together towards the back of the room. Yes, nice. Last inhale here. And then exhale, left palm forward, right palm back. Core twist. Okay, take your shoulders over your hips. Yes, nice. If you want, your gaze can be forward or it can be back. It's really up to you. Take one more inhale, really strong through that back leg. And now exhale, right palm down on the inside of your left foot, left palm up to the sky. So this is twisting lunge. If you're not comfortable with reaching your left palm up, you can bring your left hand to your knee and just kind of keep it there. And then press into your right palm to spin your chest open towards the sky. And again, keep your back leg super straight and strong. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, return both hands to the mat. Step your left foot back to meet your right. We're back to the side plank. Okay, so make sure the balls of your feet are touching behind you on the mat. Send your heels to the back. Now look at your left palm, make sure it's super strong, and then spin out to the outer edge of your back, left foot, open to side plank on the left side. The modification for this, like I said, is left knee down, so that's always an option. Send your tailbone back. If you're feeling fancy, you want to take it a step further, maybe you lift your right foot momentarily off your left foot. That's really impressive. All right, last inhale here, maybe you look up at your right hand. And then exhale all the way down through plank. Move through your vinyasa. And from down dog, go ahead and come to hands and knees, otherwise known as tabletop position. So knees are about hips width distance. That's narrower than most people think, so it's about 6 inches more or less. And as Dean's doing, you can put 2 fists between your knees to make sure that you're measuring that correctly. So your toes are untucked, parallel behind your knees. Excellent. And your back is like a tabletop, right? So it's really, really flat, not rounded too much or sunk too much. Hips square, low abs always engaged. Palms down under your shoulders, insides of your elbows forward, back of your neck long. Perfect. From here, on your next inhale, lift your right arm out in front of you and reach it towards the front of the room with your thumb facing up like you're going to shake someone's hand. Plug your shoulder back into its socket and now lift your left leg behind you so that it's parallel with the ground. If it doesn't come parallel to the ground, that's okay. Just do your best. Reach up with the back of your left knee and left foot flexes. Beautiful. Take one more inhale and stretch your spine apart as much as you can. Exhale, put it all down. Come back to tabletop. And switch. On your next inhale, left arm comes out in front of you, thumb faces towards the front, towards the ceiling rather. Back of your neck is still long, and then right leg comes out. And take care here to keep your hips square. So this right hip is neither dropping nor raising, it's staying really square. This takes a lot of core strength. Take one more inhale and lengthen your spine as much as you can. And then exhale, bring it all the way back down to tabletop. You've got that one more time, but we're gonna add something in. So, on the next inhale, reach your right arm out, thumb facing up. Reach your left leg out. Flex your left toes towards your face. From here, turn your right palm to face the ground. Reach your right arm all the way out to the side. Keep it as straight as you can. Now press the ground away with this left hand and reach your left leg out to the left. This is called awkward airplane. This is a very challenging pose, and it's going to depend a lot on the openness of your hips. So your left leg doesn't have to come too far. You're trying to balance between the right arm and the left leg. Flex your left toes towards the front of the room. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bring it back down the center, and release. On your next inhale, other side. So lift your left arm out in front of you, palm faces to the right. Great, and now right leg out behind you. Flex your right toes towards your face. Turn your left palm to face the ground and bring it out to the left. Super strong arm, shoulder away from your ear. Beautiful. And now, keeping your right foot flexed, move your right leg to the right. Nice job. This is very challenging. Requires a lot of strength, especially in the core. Press the ground away with your right palm as much as you can. Take one more inhale. This looks beautiful. Exhale everything down the front and the back, down the middle, and release back to the top. Beautiful job. Now sometimes I like to release the spine after something like that. So on your inhale, go ahead and drop your belly, raise your head, stick your tailbone up. This is called cow pose. Stretching out the front body. And then on your exhale, reverse that motion. Drop your head, round your chin to your chest. Belly button moves towards the ceiling for cat pose, like an angry Halloween cat. And when you're ready, come back to neutral. You can take a few rounds of that if you want. Just let your inhales and exhales guide you. Okay? And as you're ready, put your hands back under your shoulders, index fingers parallel to the outside edges of your mat. Tuck your toes and straighten your legs. Lift your hips back and up into downward facing dog. Relax your head. Reach your heels down towards the ground. Nice job. Heart melts towards your thighs. On your next inhale, when you're ready, take your right leg back and up behind you just like we did before. And then on your exhale, step it through between your legs. Again, you can take a couple of steps to do this. Toes in line with your fingertips. Beautiful. Back leg strong. Now inhale all the way up to high crescent lunge. Spin your palms towards the back of the room. Straighten that back leg. Nice. One more inhale. Reach up, but sit low. Nice. And then exhale, hands to the center of your chest. From here, we're going to take a one-leg standing balance pose. So find a point in front of your mat to focus on and start to lean your torso just gently forward. Keep your hands at the center of your chest. Now, focusing on this one point, slowly start to transfer all the way into your right foot, straighten your right leg, and reach your left leg towards the back of the room, coming into a Warrior 3 variation. So the challenge in Warrior 3, one of the many, is keeping your hips square. So sometimes the tendency is for that left hip to come up. Exactly, nice, Dean. So then you want to go ahead and drop the left hip. It might mean that your leg can't come too high. That's okay. The most important thing is your hips being square. So sometimes Warrior 3 looks like, your left foot is about 3 inches off the ground. That's fine. What you're going for is form, okay? And then good form will take you further than anything else. Take one more inhale here. Great job. Back of the neck long. And now exhale, put your hands on the ground. Keep your back leg lifting, coming into standing splits. So standing splits is a comfortable pose if you relax your whole torso and your head. So walk your fingertips back towards your shin and maybe either look at your shin or the back of your mat. And notice Dean's hips are still square. So the straightness of the leg is the important part. It's not the height. Eventually your leg will come higher, but that's not the main goal. Take one more inhale just like this. And now exhale, left foot all the way to the back of your mat. Plant your palms. Step your right foot back to meet your left. And you are free to move through a vinyasa here, or you can skip the vinyasa and you can meet me directly in downward facing dog. So vinyasas are a nice way to move energy through your body when we're doing poses between sides. You're always welcome to skip them and save the energy for the poses that we're going to be doing next. Okay. Press the ground away with your hands. On your next inhale, lift your left leg back and high behind you. Keep your hips square. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands, low lunge. Fingertips in line with your toes. And now inhale up to high crescent lunge. Arms as straight as they'll go, biceps alongside your ears, or at the best that you can, sides of your neck back. Beautiful. Take one more inhale. Reach up out of your hips, but sit your hips low. Nice. Exhale, hands to the center of your chest. Great. And now from here, pick a point to focus on in front of your mat, about 1.5 feet in front of your front foot. Start to lean your body forward, your torso forward. Draw your right hip forward, and then slowly in your own time start to come all the way up onto your left foot, straightening your left leg into Warrior 3. Now, you might be here. That's fine. What you're going for is a straight line between head and tailbone. Eventually, if you're coming into a more a full variation of it, you're going to look like a capital T. So Dean's body is like almost parallel to the ground. An advanced variation of Warrior 3 is arms reaching out in front of you like he's showing you, palms spin towards each other, but notice his neck is still long and his shoulders are still plugged into their sockets. Nice. Take one more inhale just like this, reach everything as long as you possibly can. And now exhale, standing splits, hands down, relax your hip. Reach your right leg back behind you and keep your hips square. Nice job. And now some teachers will tell you to flex your foot towards your face, others will say point your toes. It's really up to you. If you flex your foot towards your face, you're getting more of a stretch in the back of your leg, so it's kind of, it's your choice. Take one more inhale just like this. And then exhale, right foot to the back of your mat, right your palms. Step your left foot back to meet your right. And then go ahead and drop your knees to child's pose. So child's pose is meant to be a break or a recovery or even an introduction into a practice. There are a couple of versions that you can take. Dean's showing you the version with knees wide. So this is a nice version to take if you want to get into your hips and open your hips a little bit more. If you want to stretch your lower back more, you would bring your knees together underneath your torso. You can try both versions, whatever one works for you. If you want to release your shoulders completely, drop your hands alongside your body like Dean is showing you, and then you take all of the tension out of your shoulders. Okay. From here, we're going to work into a pose called dolphin pose. So this is a core strengthening and shoulder strengthening pose that is the basis for a lot of inversions. And like everything, take your time. So from here, work your way back into hands and knees. And now drop down to your forearms. And in order to get the right distance between forearms, go ahead and grab opposite elbows for a minute, yeah. So this is the distance that your elbows should be away from each other. And now go ahead and put your forearms back on the ground. Great, parallel to each other. From here, keep your gaze between your hands, so don't drop your head quite yet. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up to downward facing dog. So this is the beginning of dolphin pose. Okay. And here is where you really have to listen to your body. So you're going to slowly start to walk your feet in. Engage your lower abs. Keep your shoulders plugging into your socket. And then as you're ready, you can start to relax your head down. Press really strongly into your elbows and into your feet. So this pose is intense in a lot of areas of your body. It works your core, your lower abs, your upper abs, and also your shoulders. So press really, really strong. You can take this as far as you want, walking your feet as far in as you can. When you've had enough, stay there for a couple of breaths, and then come back to child's pose. Nice. If you have someone at home that's willing to help you out, this is a really nice adjustment to do for someone in child's pose. So I'm just going to come behind Dean and gently press down on his sacrum. So this releases the lower back, and it lets his knees and his hips relax a little bit more. So, you know, I think he likes this. So, as with anything, be careful if you're doing this for someone or have someone do it for you, but just guide them. Okay. Back off gently. So, the pose that we've been working towards for this whole practice is a headstand, which we're going to work into now, and it starts with dolphin pose. So, when you're ready, you're going to work your way back into dolphin arms. So grab those opposite elbows, make sure you've got your distance set. And now instead of forearms parallel on the ground, you're going to clasp your hands in front of you like this. Okay, good. What's going to happen is, he's not going to do it yet, but when he does straighten his legs to come into down dog, he's going to put the top of his head down on the ground and make a basket with his hands. So his head's not going to be on his hands, it's going to be right in front. He's going to use his hands to really hold his head in place. And the really important thing here is to press strongly into your elbows and keep your shoulders away from your ears so that you're not crunching your neck. Okay, so when you're ready, go ahead and put the top of your head down, right in front of your hands. Clasp your hands really firmly, get a really nice hold there, and then keep this nice broad opening. And now you can tuck your toes, lift your hips up. Okay. And now we're in headstand prep. So as you're ready, walk your feet closer and closer in. And now If you're not ready to come up into headstand, you can take this in stages, right? So always press really strongly here, engage your core a lot, stick your butt up as far as you can towards the ceiling. Keep walking your feet in and stay wherever you are where you feel a stretch and strength. Eventually, one or both feet will start to lift up off the ground and surprise you in headstand. So in headstand, a couple of things to remember. You want to keep those lower ribs closed. Core strength is absolutely crucial to this. Dean's pressing really firmly into his elbows still because you don't want the weight and the pressure in your neck, right? He's going to press his pelvis towards the back of the room to keep his body straight. His legs are still activated. They're not crunching super tight, but everything is active, right? Your feet here can be flexed or pointed, or something that I like to call fointing, which is flexing your feet but pointing your toes, or pointing your feet but flexing your toes. Stay here as long as you're comfortable. You can work up to 10 breaths, 20 breaths, 30 breaths. And then when you're ready, slowly come all the way down with control. Coming down is just as hard as going up. Beautiful job. Child's pose. So it's important to give yourself a rest after a pose like this. There's a lot of compression that can happen in the spine, so you want to just make sure that you release that. So Dean's breathing really nice and slowly and deeply. The version of child's pose where your shoulders, your arms are back alongside your body is really nice after headstand because it releases all of that activation. And now from here, we're just going to take a couple of stretches to cool down. So as you're ready, you're going to work your way back into downward facing dog. We're taking a pose called pigeon pose. So Dean's actually going to show you a variation on this. Pigeon pose is a hip opener, which is nice for some people if you've got the openness in your ankles and your knees. If you've got inflammation in those areas, there's a variation called reclined pigeon that Dean's going to take. So I'll show you the traditional version of pigeon, and he'll show you the reclined version. Reclined is just lying on your back, shoulders relaxing down. Make a figure 4 with your legs. Grab the back of your bottom leg with your hands and try to relax your shoulders down to the ground. You want to keep your feet flexing to prevent torquing in your knees, right? And then take this as far as you want. If you find that you want more of a stretch, and you don't have to do this now, but you can grab the front of your shin with your hands to get this front leg in more towards your body. Yeah, or you can add a hamstring stretch to the bottom leg. And like everything, just breathe. Breathe as much as you can. Send your tailbone down towards the mat. In the traditional version of half pigeon, I left you in downward facing dog. So from downward facing dog, you're going to inhale your right leg back and high behind you like we did before. And on your exhale, you're going to plant your right knee behind your right wrist. Flex that right foot and bring it towards your left wrist. Now it doesn't have to reach all the way up to your left wrist. The higher it comes, the more open your hips are. So again, like everything, it's up to you. Straighten your back leg behind you. Press the top of your back foot down into the mat. Square your hips towards the front of the room and squeeze your inner thighs towards each other a little bit to kind of get a little bit of lift, right? From here, walk your fingertips back towards your hips. Inhale, open your chest, really square your hips off. And then on your exhale, just slowly start to fold over your front bent leg. And like I said, keep a little bit of a flex in that front foot. So this is half pigeon. You can stay here. If you want to come all the way down to the ground, rest your forehead on the mat. You can even turn your palms up to release all of the tension out of your shoulders. What you want to make sure to do is not let your hips roll over from one side or to the other, right? So your hips should be staying square the whole time. So this is a version that you can take if your knees feel okay and if your ankles feel okay. Otherwise, reclined pigeon is where you want to be. Let's go ahead and do the other side. So if you're in Dean's variation, just go ahead and switch legs, be gentle, maybe take a couple of shapes or circles with your knees and with your hips. If you're doing the traditional variation of half pigeon, work your way back into downward facing dog Inhale your left leg straight back behind you. And then exhale, plant left knee behind left wrist. Flex the left foot, bring it towards your right wrist. You can use your hands to kind of walk it up a little bit. So your knee can come outside your hip, that's fine. Make sure your back leg is straight behind you. Untuck all of your toes. And then inhale your fingers back towards your hips. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Draw your right hip forward. And exhale, gently fold as far as you want. Now you can stay here, that's fine. And then as you get a little bit more open on your exhales, you can start to fold deeper and deeper and deeper. Eventually you relax all the way down to the ground. When you're ready, if you're doing my version of pigeon, make your way back to downward facing dog. We're going to come to seated, facing the fronts of our mats. So I'm just going to walk my feet up and sit right down. We have a seated forward fold. So the way I like to get into this is bend your knees, put the soles of your feet on the mat, make sure the balls of your feet are touching, make sure your knees are touching. And now, glue your torso to your thighs. Awesome. Bring your knees closer together. You can even hug opposite elbows. Yes. From here, this is the kind of forward fold where you want your back to stay flat. So flex your toes towards your face and then grab the outside edges of your feet. And don't ever lose contact with between torso and thighs, right? So shoulders back and down your spine, torso pressing into your thighs, and then take this into a forward fold. So just start to walk your feet forward, keep them flexed, keep your knees together. Come as far as you can come with your torso still on your thighs, but don't lose that contact. What this does is it ensures a really nice lower back stretch and a really nice hamstring stretch. But see how Dean is keeping his legs together and he's keeping his feet really nicely flexed. When he gets to the point where he's got a nice stretch, he's going to relax his head. Nice. And the challenge here is to keep a little bit of length between ears and shoulders. Beautiful. So this is a pose that you can hold for 2 to 3 breaths, or you can hold for longer if you feel that you need more of a stretch. And when you're ready, gently release your feet and come all the way back up. On your inhale, reach your arms above your head, face your palms towards each other. And on your exhale, you're just going to roll down to come to lying on your back. So one vertebra at a time until you're relaxing all the way down on your back. Nice job. From here, we have one last pose. It's called bridge pose. So you're going to bend your knees, put the soles of your feet on the mat, and hips width distance again. So again, that's about 2 fists, more or less. Your feet are going to be parallel to each other, and one of the most important things about this pose is knees should be tracking over your ankles, so they should not splay out to the side or come in too much. Arms on the ground alongside your body, palms facing down. Press the back of your head gently into the mat, and just inhale your hips up. Great, so this is a nice restorative, it's a counter stretch to what we just did, so we're not taking anything too far, we're just trying to keep mobility and circulation in the spine. When your hips are up, you're going to try to gently squeeze your knees towards each other, to make sure they're not splaying out to the sides. Press into the balls of your feet to lift your hips even higher. If you want to take it a step further, and this is up to you, clasp your hands under you, press your pinky fingers into the mat, and open your chest towards the back of the room. If you do this, make sure that you have space between your chin and your chest, so your chin should never be touching your chest. Take another inhale here, and on your exhale, gently, slowly roll down one vertebra at a time. Beautiful. Hug your knees into your chest. Feel free to rock a little bit side to side, give your spine a little bit of a massage. And when you're ready, gently relax your entire body into Shavasana, otherwise known as corpse pose. So we end all physical yoga practices with corpse pose, which is just a complete relaxation
Feet are open, palms facing up, belly soft, throat soft, entire body relaxed. Close your eyes and rest.
Hey guys, thank you so much for this workout. Today we worked towards headstand. If you didn't get it today, you will soon. I'll see you on the mat. Go to destinationfit.com to see more of my yoga. Namaste.